Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Create Expectations. I'm here with my co-host, Sarah, from her YouTube channel and HoloNet News Network. HoloNet News, I don't know how to say it.
Just butchered it so badly.
Some podcast about Galaxy of Heroes.
Hollow Table News Network.
You're right.
You're from Gambit, right?
Gambit. Yeah, I kind of sound like a gambut here. So,
Oh, man.
that being said, guys, go follow Sarah at her pretentiously named podcast if you want. It's in the video description, and her YouTube channel, which actually has really good content, especially now that there's GAC. There's 1000%, as she would say, more.
Yeah, as I would say, 1000%.
More GAC on her channel, so go check that out. The second half of the show, of course, is always on her channel. That being said, I've yammered long enough, and you're just hitting me back where you can. But how are you today, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Doing well.
Pretty good.
Awesome.
I feel like our technology situation is starting to stabilize, which feels good.
Yeah, sort of.
And I'm excited for you. You have your new workspace. And
I know.
Now, yeah.
I know. I'm finally not in the kitchen. My 3 to 5 week renovation only took 9 weeks, so it's fine.
Right. That's Canadian math for you.
No kidding. That's the conversion rate.
No, I mean that's in reality that's construction math. Like that's just always how it works. I can't think of a single time they've been like, oh yeah, we'll be done in 3 weeks, and then they're done in 3 weeks for anything I've heard of.
Fair, but I actually counted because I was super annoyed that it was taking so long, and in the 9 weeks they were in my house for 12 days.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
So, yeah. Anyway, it's done. So now I'm downstairs in my own little space. It's not done yet because I haven't moved everything. But yeah.
You have your own studio. This is fun. All right. So what do we got on the show today, Sarah? What are we doing?
Okay. So there have been absolutely no posts whatsoever from CG since the last time we recorded. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to have like a mini conversation about Grand Arena type stuff. But then we'll do a character review. We'll do speed GAC because it's back. Viewer questions, a pack review, and a roster roast. The usual.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to talk about Wampa a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I thought it would be easier for me to remember my Grand Arena rounds now that I'm recording them and posting them. Mm-hmm. Was not easier.
Yeah, I know. I'm always like, oh, yay, maybe this function of my memory will work better. Oh, no. No, memory's still bad.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Maybe if I get more sleep, I'll remember things, but no. No, just still bad. So, anyway. All right, let's talk about, okay, so last time we talked a little bit, we touched on the idea of like people asking you, are you in KYBER 1 yet? And like it kind of pissed me off, frankly. It irritated me because I felt like people who were asking you that had some kind of ulterior motive to like judge, at least on some levels. I'm sure that some people were genuine, being like, oh man, I'm excited for you, but a lot of times they're just asking you because they're like, oh, like you're a second-class citizen, like you're not in KYBER 1 yet.
Well, and I should clarify because I did get a couple of people pointing it out to me. I know I talk about bouncing between KYBER 1 and KYBER 2, and that's totally fine. And I genuinely don't mind being asked if I'm in KYBER 1 or KYBER 2. It's more the reaction of like the shock when they learn that I am in KYBER 1. Like they don't believe me. That's what is the annoying factor. So I probably should have clarified that a little bit better. And yeah,
okay.
But it goes into exactly what you just said. It's like an ulterior motive to asking me if I'm in KYBER 1 yet.
Well, yeah, like people want to feel better about themselves, so they ask someone,
Right.
It's like it's like the people who have like a stupid friend or something, and they're like, I just hang out with him so I feel smart, kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think that's total BS, frankly. And also, I don't think you're the stupid friend in this scenario. Like, you're because like if we use that as a metaphor, like. Uh, you aren't stagnating. You've been growing in leaps and bounds for GAC. Like there's been marked progress on every level, and so
Fair. Thank you.
I just
It will all stagnate at ships now.
I I'm sure it will. So, uh,
No, but I am
anyways,
getting a little bit better at it. So, like bit by
yeah.
bit.
So I guess the question that I wanted
Mhm.
to ask, though, really, because I'm kind of in a position right now where uh, I I'm not in the same position as you. Like I actually my alt is pretty close to Kyber one, but in a lot of ways it's more like if my alt makes it to Kyber one, like that's kind of funny. Yeah.
Your
Like
alt makes it to Kyber 1. I might cry. Because you'll be right by me.
I'm I am 2 wins away. If I win 2 more in a row, I'll
Mhm.
be in Kyber one. But like that's one of the changes recently, and I don't know if I approve honestly of just like in the middle of the week you
Mhm.
can transition to a different and that happened to you and to me actually on Prevail Man. That
Mhm.
happened. I got promoted, and I was like, I'm in Erodium 2, but I'm fighting people in Erodium 3. Like, but how important is like it seems like Kyber one is like on a pedestal. People are like, oh, if you like, you're not important if you're not in Kyber one.
Right. I don't think, I mean, maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't think it's crazy important personally. Like, I think, because I still look at Grand Arena as a way to get my crystals. So I look at it from the viewpoint of if I'm in Kyber 1, I need to go, what, 4 wins to break even on taking first in arena when they used to be in arena. If I'm in Kyber 2, I need to go 6 and 6. And if you're in Kyber 3, I think it's like 7 and 5 or something. Like that's how I look at it. I just look at it as
Hmm.
pure income. So no matter what division I'm in, I just want to know what the minimum is that I need to get my crystals, and everything else is gravy.
I don't know if I believe you. Actually, I think it's more important to you than just income. I think people who use the income argument, like it is important. I think that it holds a certain level of like people see it as a status thing too. Frankly,
Well, I think you also have to remember there are what, 8,000 roughly people in Kyber 1,
something like that.
something like that. Because like that's considerably hard to get to.
Well, sure, and so people see it as like I made it. Like, look at me, I'm fancy. I'm in Kyber one. Like,
Mhm.
and like for you, that's the other thing. It's like if you do make it to Kyber one, in some ways, if you just look at it from a ranking, like purely GP
Mhm.
standpoint and roster size, like
Mhm.
you quote unquote shouldn't be in Kyber one. Like you're not you don't have one of the top 8,000 sized rosters in the game, right?
Right. I don't think so.
Right. Did you not look it up? I thought. I guess maybe like it caps out at when I looked it up on swgoh.gg. Like
Oh yeah,
it
it does
didn't.
cap out.
Yeah, like you weren't even like so. Well, like your account size doesn't warrant just being in Kyber one. Like my account size, I'm at 9.5 million,
Mhm.
and it's like I should be in Kyber one. Like there's something seriously wrong. Like there's a whole level of apathy on my end if I don't make it to
Mhm.
Kyber to stay in Kyber one. So you punching up to get into Kyber one is great. Anyways,
Mhm. But
it's
then that's
impressive.
also when you see people that have over 9 million GP in Kyber 2 and Kyber 3. Like you see the
Hmm.
inverse as well. So
Right. Well, and you're clearly not one of those either. Like you haven't fallen to Kyber three,
no.
for instance. So you're telling me like you're for sure like you don't care about like it's not a sentiment thing. It's a purely business transaction being in Kyber one versus two.
Yeah, it makes it easier for me
Mm,
to get my crystals. I know you don't believe me.
mm. I
I
don't
do.
actually.
I
I
do
still
like
don't.
so okay. So here's the thing that I like when I'm in Kyber one, and this is I don't even want to say this because then it puts more pressure on myself if I put it
Hmm.
out there. But fine. I'm curious as to like how high I can go in terms of being in Kyber one,
Yeah,
because I know like I'm not going to go into the top 1,000. Like I know that I'm not going to go into the top
not yet. Maybe
3,000.
we'll see.
But like I know these things, so I'm curious how far I can get in turn, because at the end of the last season, technically my skill rating was higher than what it was now, but then I got squished.
Right.
So now I'm almost back to where I was.
Hmm.
So I'm curious where that puts me ranking wise.
I don't know. You can always check.
Yeah, I know where I am right now. I'm in the top 6,000.
So this week you fell into Kyber 2 temporarily,
I did.
and your only reaction was, "Oh man, I'm making a few fewer crystals."
Well, okay. This is also the thing. I didn't I made fewer crystals for 2 days
Right.
because I'm not actually making fewer crystals.
Right. So you didn't care at all that you made it to Kyber, that you fell to Kyber 2.
Well, I
That
knew if
it didn't annoy you.
I knew the only reason it annoys me now when I fall is because it's midweek.
Well, it is. That is jarring. You're like, wait, you're not going to give me like a chance to like recover.
It just seems silly when you're in, like, your pod doesn't change. You're still fighting everyone who's in. You all were in Kyber 1, or if you were in Kyber 2 and fell to Kyber 3, you all were in Kyber 2. Like you're all in the same division when you get matched. So
Hmm.
why would you fall during it and then still fight the same people? It's the same caliber of account that you're fighting, is my point.
Okay, I'll stop asking. I feel like I've had a lot of interactions with other people who put a lot of importance on like the status of Kyber 1.
Is that what it is? Is it just like the status symbol of it?
I mean, my in
Because
a lot of ways that's what I care about for my accounts, for my alts. Like I want to be in higher leagues than I should be, strictly speaking.
right. Because Kyber 1 now is what Kyber used to be before Grand Arena got reworked, I assume.
I don't know. That'd be interesting to see what comparison with numbers, and you have to think. So as the
I,
population increases in game, are there going
Mhm.
to be more people in Kyber 1? Like you'd think that it'd be a pretty even distribution, right?
You would think. But I don't even mean like in terms of numbers from now versus then. I mean in terms of like status symbol, like hitting Kyber. Because I remember when I remember you even asking me when I started playing Grand Arena again if I was gonna make Kyber. And I was like, no,
Right.
that requires me to look at feats.
Oh yeah, feats. That Have you heard of anyone saying I miss feats?
No,
I can't think of a single person who's said that actually. Like
no.
maybe those people exist out. I'm sure there's some people miss it. I am sure, but I hated that so much.
That's why I never would make Kyber.
Stop. You made
I
Kyber a
made
couple
Kyber
times,
once. I made it maybe more than once.
right? Well, and most of the time you just totally ignored it. Like you didn't try to make Kyber.
No,
So
I just tried to win.
no, I mean there was a big like time period where you just ignore, like you just signed up and auto
Oh,
deployed. Is what I'm saying.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not like you
100%.
struggled for 20 seasons in a row and only made Kyber once. That's not the story.
Right. I mean since roughly August. So for the past like 8, 9 months.
Yeah. You'd have made Kyber the last couple months, anyways. last
Right.
few seasons. Yeah. Okay, we could move on.
Okay.
But why don't we talk about Wampa?
You want to talk about Wampa?
Yeah.
All right.
Wanna Wampa?
You want Wampa? We'll go find him.
All right, let's see. Where's the character review button? There it is. Okay. And let's go. Whoa, we're in the game. So we see the Wampa. Okay.
See the
So,
Wampa.
all right. And you have a Relic 5 Tauntaun Feast, I see.
I
It's
do.
the name of his relic. All right, so you just recently got the Omicron on Wampa. How do you like it?
I do like it. It's extremely nerve-wracking every single time. So I've used it. I got it like literally a week ago. I got it right before this Grand Arena season started. So I've used it 3 times. And every single time I've used it, I've thought to myself, this is probably a bad idea.
Okay.
And while the fight is happening, I'm like, this is probably a really bad idea. And then it's fine. And after every single fight, I'm like, I don't know why I doubted it. Never a doubt.
I'm sure. It sounds like it.
No, but like, it's been fun. I used him on Iden the first time and then Mon Mothma the 2 times after that. So pretty straight.
Oh, Mon Mothma. That's scary.
Yeah.
All right.
Those were the scary ones, actually.
Do you feel like not having the second Zeta, because you didn't have the second Zeta this time, right? You had the Omicron, so you needed the Zeta for that one, but you didn't have the healing immunity one. Did you feel like that would have made a difference?
No, because if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure I am. I don't think I got a single debuff on me once.
Well, it's not about debuffs on you. It's the healing immunity on your opponents that it causes. It's an AoE healing immune.
Maybe I'm on Mothma?
Okay.
I'm trying to remember how difficult. It wasn't even... The first Mon Mothma I faced was just a weird team. And it didn't go sideways. It just felt uncomfortable. The first Mon Mothma I faced, Kara didn't have her Zeta. So once I killed her, she was gone. Like, unless Mon Mothma brought her back. The second one, she did have her Zeta. So she just kept coming back. And that was actually the more annoying part of this whole thing, was trying to get through Kara.
That's fair. Oh my gosh. So my podcast co-host Solo, he is facing someone who he knew that he needed more tenacity on his Wampa, because you need tenacity on Wampa to if you want to take out Iden teams, because people are putting high potency on Iden so that you can stun Wampa and then Iden can just wipe them out. He recognized the need, so he started Farm Boy Luke lead with Wampa, which Farm Boy Luke lead gives like 40% tenacity. But the Omicron says you have to start alone. Yeah, you have to start alone. It's not just like if Luke dies, then he becomes a monster. Like it's like he has to. Yeah, like could you click on the Omicron ability?
It's this one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see.
It says it doesn't say, it just says he gains 100% tenacity. It doesn't say no other active allies at the start.
Right. If there are no other active allies at the start of the battle, then he gains the defense, the max health, the protection offense, doubled, all that stuff.
So he foregoed all of that stuff for an extra 40% tenacity.
Right, like he was just like pre-Omicron Wampa, basically.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I guess there was probably a couple other, but yeah, like of course it just totally epically failed against.
Yeah, because that's the thing that I've noticed with him is I'm like, okay, like every time I feel like it's a bad idea, it's because you're kind of like, okay, like they're beating me up and you feel like you're not making any progress, and then out of nowhere you just start wiping people down. And it's because of like all this ramping offense that you're getting, right? Like you're just continuously going to hit harder and harder. But yeah,
Well,
you're
yeah. So that
just
there's two aspects to it actually. So it's
Mhm.
yeah, there's the ramping offense on the Wampa part, and that's like the more obvious part that you're watching. But then
Mhm.
also whenever they hit you,
Mhm.
they're also getting damage over time, and so if they're all assisting against you,
Yeah.
they're getting tons of stacks of that damage over time,
Mhm.
and that also actually fuels your Wampa, like your ability to hit harder and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the dots that are accumulating is also making you stronger. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. And then they also, when they take turns, if you have 20 dots on you, I mean, that's not a negligible amount of damage.
Right. That's part of the reason why I didn't um focus so much on his speed.
Oh yeah, no, you don't need.
Yeah. I was like
There's no reason to focus speed.
I was like, you can be slow. Let them hit you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so you're talking earlier this week about how you hate General Grievous,
I
and
hate General Grievous.
Wampa just solves that. Like he'll just kill any General Grievous squad now,
I
no
know.
problem. And you don't
Uh,
even have to have good. You don't even have to have tenacity mods. You don't need anything.
I'll try it the next time I see it. Maybe. Depending if there's a Mon Mothma.
I would, yeah. So just keep in
Mhm.
mind, Mon Mothma's a slippery slope. Like once you hit a certain point, you're not
Mhm.
going to want to use Wampa against Mon Mothma anymore.
True.
It's not a even though the basic makes it seem like you should kill all the rebels.
Mhm.
They stack too much damage and they eventually just kill
Go
your
sideways.
core. Yeah, even if it's relic 8. So
All
I
right.
don't know. Really glad that they made him viable though. I've enjoyed the heck out of him.
I think I'm enjoying him way more. So this is the sad thing for me, and it's just such a silly thing. I used to, before his Omicron, I would use him, but I would put him with Vader. Like I would just pair them together for the dots,
Hmm.
and just kind of have like him for extra swatting damage. And now I'm kind of sad that he can't go with Vader.
That's you still can, Sarah.
I mean, he can, but I'm kind of not really getting much out of it.
No, you're not, but
So
well, you should just do it anyways. If it's making you sad, you need more joy in your life.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, good. All right. Anything else you want to talk about Wampa?
Uh, no.
Oh,
Okay. So
how are you modding him?
I put two
Can
health
you
sets and a
can you
tenacity
click
set.
can you click on your mods actually?
Yeah, so they're not done. I need to slice these because I
Okay.
ran out of slicing mats. But I put health primary arrow, which is it's like a tenacity set one, and then a tenacity primary cross,
Hmm.
and then this is just I just looked for tenacity secondaries. Um, yeah, basically that's all I cared about was tenacity secondaries. But I wanted health, and he's still like he's not. I need to slice his arrow and his circle for sure because he's only 63,000 health, so he's not that beefy.
No. Yeah, and then yeah, so if you're not facing people with really, really high potency items, you probably don't need all the tenacity. I mean, because
Right.
so many people have been like, you don't need that much, as much tenacity as you have. And I'm like, well, I do, because the people I'm facing are going to be putting 150, 160% potency on their item, and it's
Mhm.
all about her first shot. But he ramps up his tenacity to the point where after that, then I don't have to worry about tenacity. But the first shot is the only shot that matters, kind of. So,
Right.
otherwise, yeah, just like health is basically all you really need for him. If you don't, like get cover your base on tenacity and then just go
Mhm.
health, and you're good.
Seems straightforward,
I think so.
right?
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
neat. All right, so why don't we go back
Mhm.
and do our speed GAC real quick before we transition over to your channel.
Okay. Let me get the clock. You
All
know,
right, who went first last time?
you think I remember these things?
You think I do?
I actually have no idea who went first last time. You can go first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All
All
right.
right. Let me know when to go.
Okay.
Speed
Go.
recap. Hold on, I gotta
Oh man,
switch. Hey, there we go.
you're good.
Yeah, I just had to switch the little doohickey to say speed GAC. All right.
Ah, all right. Go right now.
Okay, so the first guy I matched up against had more lifetime banners than me, which is obviously an older stat, but it still checks out. He had more everything, more relics, more uh, mods, like good mods and everything. But I managed to place a board that was really tough for him, and he managed to clear, but he was pretty inefficient. I managed to beat him by a pretty significant margin, despite a kind of a blunder here or there on my end. So got the win. The next guy was against. He was the only guy that I faced that wasn't Ka this week, and he ended up. I beat him on squads, but then I did really poorly in ships. I got some bad RNG, coupled with bad play, and I lost. So I lost that match, made me cry. And then the last one was against another Ka player. Yay, hooray for that. And, better mods, better relics, all that stuff. And I attacked. I was really efficient, actually. I only failed one attack, which for me is a miracle. And I ended up winning. Okay, that was all I was going to say. I ended up winning.
Exactly like that. That's how you end your sentences, with that inflection at the end.
That's how I end my sentences.
Oh man.
So he only attacked once, and he just put it on auto because he's apparently had a business trip and couldn't attack.
So he just got his rewards.
Yep. Though I think he was in trouble. Frankly, I think he couldn't have beat me. But that's just speculation, rampant, wild speculation on my end.
Fair.
So let's do yours and then pull the plug. So
okay,
tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so you can begin right now.
Okay, so the first player I faced had 9.2 million GP, and I had 7.9 at the time of this. He had all 6 Galactic Legends and Star Killer. So I wasn't too sure how I was going to pull this off. I chose to set 3 Galactic Legends on defense, and I kind of made a stupid decision because I didn't really know what to do, if I should block ships or not. And I put them in front of ships. Didn't really matter though, because he ended up full clearing me. I ended up clearing almost his entire board. I screwed up on my Jedi team, which meant that I couldn't Qui-Gon Maul properly, and I couldn't clear him because of that, so he got the win. The next guy I faced was 6.7 million GP and had 4 Galactic Legends, but he had 1.1 million lifetime banners, so I wasn't gonna sleep on him. I ended up setting 4 of my Galactic Legends, and I split them 2 and 2. He set all 4 of his in the bottom zone, so I intended to just completely make this like a
stop. Big GAC recaps, and you realize you could talk about GAC all day, huh?
Wow, it was so bad.
Yeah, you weren't even close.
I was not even close. Ah, man.
All right. Well, we're out of time. So, what was your final record, Sarah?
I went 2-1 for the week.
And are you in KYBER 1 now? Did you make it to KYBER 1?
I am in KYBER 1.
I know. That's why I asked. All right, guys, go check out Sarah's channel, and we'll see you over there, and it'll be fun, probably.
Yeah, that's where the dessert is.